Thank you for very generous introduction. Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Om Shri Saraswatyai Namaha. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Om Samastajana Kalyane Niratam Karunamayam. Namami Chinmayam Devam Sadgurum Brahmavitvaram. Hari Om. Dear friends, a very hearty welcome to you all for this seminar. Some time back, when this proposal came up, I liked it, and then we were thinking as to what will be the theme of this seminar. Because there are so many seminars, workshops, conferences that are held related to topics of management. One thing is there that everyone wants success, everyone wants to grow, and therefore those subjects are, the topics, themes are focused on that. So I was also thinking, and a thought came to my mind, and this is the theme: live forever, richer and richer. How this theme is presented, that only I will elaborate now here. Every being wants to live and live forever, and wants to live happily also. When someone says there is a person who is committing suicide, not because he doesn't want to live, but the life has become miserable for whatever reason, and therefore what he is tired of is not of life, but that pain and misery and suffering. And therefore he wants to put an end to that. He wants to live happily. There was a man who had a lot of financial troubles, and then he decided to commit suicide. He left a note also at home that he was going to die. He went to the seashore, and to his surprise, he saw a briefcase lying there. And a curiosity was aroused, and he suddenly thought, let me see what it is. He tried to open, it opened. It was not locked. And what he saw, it was full of currencies. Notes, valid, not fake notes. And no one was there at that time. He thought, my problems are over. So he closed it, picked up that briefcase, and was returning home. In the meanwhile, the family members saw his note that he was going to die. But to their surprise, they again saw him coming back. Maybe they were a little disappointed. And when he came with that briefcase full of money, they welcomed him. And he also thought, why should I die now? What we come to know, it is not that he wanted to die. It's only troubles, doesn't know how to face, and the problem is there, and that's why he's thinking. So number one thing, we want to live. And we want to live forever. Everybody knows that we are born here in this world and we are going to die one day, but nobody wants to die. Do you know one interesting thing? People want to go to heaven, but they don't want to die. And without dying, you can't go to heaven. And that's the idea comes to bring the heaven down to this earth. So that we don't have to die also and we can be in heaven. And that is possible. So one thing I want to live, I want to live forever, and I want to live happily. This is very, very common. One more thing is there. Everybody wants to expand also and grow. A child also, suppose he is a younger brother, there is an elder brother. The child thinks, when will I grow? He also wants to become big quickly. Otherwise, that big brother is all the time bullying him. In age also he wants to grow. Then, the school, there also he wants to do better and better. Of course, there are some people who don't care about that. And one boy was in the school, his rank was 30th. The father said, what is your position? Is 30th in the class? He said, thank God there are only 30 people, students only there. Otherwise, it could have been worse also. Somebody doesn't care, but he may be interested in something else, not necessarily the studies. So if someone is very much interested in this education and learning, or someone in sports or arts or science, music, whatever is that everyone wants to grow. But one common attraction that is there in everybody's mind and heart and life, the attraction of money. It is strange that all have got attraction for money, but I don't know, particularly in our country, making money is considered as sin only. And then if somebody is rich and all that, they say, he's a filthy rich man. Why that expression comes? Many times they may be jealous. And they also want, but they can't make it. But if anybody wants to grow and make more and more, is it a sin? It cannot be considered as sin. I will tell you today the spiritual reason for all this, that I want to live forever and I want to live happily and I want to grow, because Vedanta says that you are Brahman, that thou art Tattvamasi. And do you know what is Brahma? Brahma is called Sat Chit Anand. Our nature is Ananda Swarupa, and therefore we cannot stand any sorrow in life. Our nature is eternal, and therefore we don't like the idea of death and mortality. Our Swarupa is Jnanam, therefore ignorance also is not tolerated by us. So if somebody tells me you are a fool, I don't like that. In the same way, you know, Brahma means the big, greater and greater, that which grows. No, Brahma itself does not grow, but that is our nature, and therefore we want to grow. That's why there is a Mumbai and there is a Bruhan Mumbai also. That Bruhat Shabda is only from, that Brahma word comes from Bruhat. So you have to grow. That's our nature. We can't stop. And the maximum attraction that people have got is for money. And there is a reason for that. There is nothing wrong in it, or there is no sin in it. But what is that attraction that is necessary to be understood? My daily needs can be fulfilled only by money. My desire for more comforts and pleasures can be fulfilled by money. I got some passion and ambition in life, then that also needs money. And I want to grow industrially, then also I need money. I want to become politically powerful. That also depends on money. And I want to start an ashram. That also depends on money. I have to run a brahmachari's training, Vedanta training course. That also needs money. And even if you want to do some charity, you must have money. Then only you can do charity. You want to do service, then that also needs money. So money is required at all levels, in every field. Therefore, attraction of money. Second reason is, whenever man does some work, and then it is said that you will be paid per hours. So many hours I work, and immediate reward I see something in my hand. Because whenever man does anything, he wants some result. And money is a tangible result. So when a person gets money every day, or per week, or per month, or whatever that work is done, how much you are earning, see, the tangible gain of any karma is seen. And that is the reason why the person in the family who is earning money, then he is considered as a producer. Now suppose one person is there who does only social work but not earning and all that. Because work is all the time measured in terms of how much you are making, earning, bringing home. And because of that money, we can buy many things, material goods, and power also. And therefore, so much of attraction is there of that money. Now, in itself, there is nothing wrong, because everything depends on that. And if I have got that inclination to grow in my life, in whichever field I grow, and then even including that of wealth, then also there is nothing wrong. But then problem also is there. And where lies the problem? That we must understand. When that person becomes very individualistic and very self-centered, and only wants whatever that wealth is there, everything only for himself or herself, by whichever means, fair or foul, then the trouble begins. And doesn't want to spend at all. So there are people who have lot of money, but they are so miser that they do not spend on themselves also, and do not give to others. The question of giving to someone else, that's the greatest pain. I will tell you a very interesting, humorous story I had heard in my childhood. There was a miser, rich person, but very miser, living near Banaras, Varanasi. And one day a thought came to his mind to go to Kashi Vishwanath and to have a dip in Gangaji. So he walked all the distance, and after reaching there, suddenly he realized that the pandas are there, priests are there, they will catch hold of him, and they will ask him some dakshina and all that. How can I give that? So he said, I won't go to that main ghat where all these priests are there. Some long distance where nobody is there, there I will take bath. And from here only I will do namaskar to Kashi Vishwanath also. You know, the story is very interesting. Lord Shiva suddenly thought, oh, this person wants to avoid some dakshina. Suddenly Bhagavan appeared there in the form of a priest and said, if without sankalpa, without puja, if you do this bath and all that, you will not get any punyam. You will have to do that. That man said, oh, the priest has come here also. I couldn't escape. He said, on one condition. First tell me, how much is your dakshina? He said, only 50 paisa. Oh, that is too much. What too much? 50 paisa is not too much. He said, all right, on credit. You will have to come to my village and then I will give you. Bhagavan said, okay. That man thought for 50 paisa he won't come all the way. Anyway, Sankalpa was done, Puja was done, he had a bath. Went home. But one day, as he was going out of his house, he suddenly saw that priest coming. Because Bhagavan, it doesn't take time for him to go anywhere. So he saw. Suddenly he went inside his house. Bhagavan went there. I said, I want to meet that man. The wife said, but sir, he died. Lord Shiva said, I am in charge of that department. How did he die? And I know that he is just gone inside. And when did he die? Just now. Bhagavan said, okay, I will call people to take him to the cremation. Yeah. Immediately people came, all the arrangements were done, and that man was lying. They put him on that earthy, a stretcher-like thing, tied him. Still he said nothing. And surprisingly, the wife also did not say anything. Maybe she was happy. Because this fellow was not spending any money on himself or the family and nothing. They reached his cremation ground. The funeral pyre was made. He was put on that. Now Bhagavan Shiva got scared. He thought, what happened? He's ready to die. Well, he knows that he is not dead. Bhagavan created some maya. And there was some hooting sound, and people started seeing some ghost and all that. They ran away from there. Now only Bhagavan and that man was there. Bhagavan untied him and he said, open your eyes. I know you are not dead. He opened one eye. He said, Lord Shiva himself is there. Lord said, you are a wonderful man. I never met such a person in my life. Your bhakti to your money is unparalleled. Now I grant you a boon. What you want? Ask. He says, Bhagavan, if you are granting me the boon, please write off 50 paisa. That's all I want. Bhagavan said, Tathastu. Now such person who has got such money, and if he cannot spend on himself or family also and on others, what will happen to his wealth? Do you know what will happen? He said, such wealth, either it will perish or it will be stolen away, or that money will be gone. And there are many people who have got lot of wealth, but they all the time remain like this. And about them we can say, they live poor and die rich. How? Because when they are dead, so much wealth is in their name, but in their life, they all the time live like this, miserly life. What is the use of making of that type of wealth? Then the second, only concerned about himself or herself, or at the most our only that very, very near and dear, that close family. In that also, what is the great thing about it? Because for oneself, every being also lives. There is nothing great about it. And that person is not going to live or become richer and richer. You know, one interesting thing, they have struck me, a person who doesn't give to anyone else, then the Lord says, you don't need more money. Because for yourself this is enough, you don't give to anyone else. But if some person gives to others, then the Lord says, oh, this person needs, because I have to go on giving to him. So then supply must be there so that he can go on giving. The more you give, more you'll get. But otherwise, there is no need, because your need is fulfilled. Now there is nothing more. So now you see the progression. I live, and I live for myself, and then how I'll grow and become richer and richer. This is very interesting point. What is the meaning of richer and richer? I'd say true, even wealth-wise, richer and richer you will become. But how? Now see, in our life, generally what our mind is occupied with is, preoccupied or occupied with is, once we have got some ambition for one thing and we get it, then generally what we do is we want to more and more of the same thing. In our life what we are doing is working for more and more and more and more of the same thing. So I get money, so I want more money, more money, more money. If I have got political power, I want more power, and the absolute power. Whichever field that I am there, more and more of the same thing. What happens is more and more of the same thing may add only numerical value to me, but inner transformation will not be there. I will remain the same. There will not be change in me. Only more and more of that thing will be added on and on and on and on. You must have read and heard and used this expression that in the world of rat race, even if you win the race, you still remain a rat. Because the more and more of the same thing you are eating. But if you want to become richer and richer, what we have to do is not more and more, but also think what is higher and higher. What is greater and greater than that. Then I will become richer and richer. In the beginning, I may be wanting one thing. But then I should think, is there anything greater than that? As I said, all our physical needs, money and comfort, pleasures, growth, all that what we need. But is there anything more than that, greater than that, higher than that? Then you will realize there are many higher things in life. They are at the level of emotions, or the arts, or even the intellectual levels. There are greater and greater ideas there. They can be only satisfying. Now suppose there is a great musician and all his needs are already fulfilled of the money and all that. And suppose someone tells him that we will give a lot of money to you, but don't sing. You stop his singing, will he be satisfied? You should ask only a singer, a musician. He says, please don't give me any money, but allow me to sing because I can't. No, you can't sing. A sportsman is there. I'll give you money, but don't play anymore. What does it show? That it is not only what we are doing is only for wealth, but there is something greater than that, higher and greater satisfaction is there. So now, what is higher and higher? There are two ways of looking at it, higher and higher. One is, whatever I have, that is to be used for higher and higher purpose. Number one. And second thing is seeking something higher than that. Two ways are there. So first is I earn money, wealth for myself. Then I use only for myself, but the same money is used for greater purpose, nobler purpose, for larger and larger benefit and good of people. So it is the same wealth, but used for higher purpose. Now I got any talent in the field of arts or music, science, sports, whatever is there. One I use only for myself, then I see what service I can render to that art, that sport, and so that more and more people learn that. So it is not only for just earning, but the same art, same sport that is used for some greater purpose. Then what will happen? I become richer and richer. So when I sing for myself, that is one thing. But when I sing for a cause, then my satisfaction of singing is fulfilled. That money will come anyway. But when for it is dedicated to the greater cause, the same thing, then greater joy is experienced. And more people are benefited by that. So what I have, that I use for higher purpose, greater purpose, then what happens? I become richer and richer. Because I go on giving that, and for using higher cause. Then I become richer. Another thing, what is the higher? Higher than all these worldly things is knowledge. Among different knowledge also, the knowledge of the absolute truth is the highest. And therefore, if you see all the history, entire history, and all our Puranas also, all the kings and Maharajas, Chakravarti, Samrat, all of them were there, and they all the time did satsang, all right, but even renounced everything, and they went only for the search of this truth. There's so many examples, not one or two. And what is greater than bhoga or enjoyment is always renunciation and sacrifice. In no country, a man of only indulgence and only his self-enjoyment has become the ideal of that nation. It is always a man of sacrifice only has become. And that's why the Upanishad says, Tyagena eke amritatvam anashu. It is only by renunciation that person attains immortality. If Ramchandra ji, by force, he had remained and not left the kingdom, he would not have become Rama. And Bharata, he got that kingdom. If he sacrificed, therefore only he became greater. So greater than bhoga is tyaga. And the tyaga is very interesting. In this renunciation, your comforts or everything is not lost at all. This is a peculiar gain. This gain is such that there is no loss at all. And this is the gain of the highest truth, what we call the spiritual knowledge. I will speak about the gain, because everybody wants gain in life. I want to become richer. I want to gain something. The only thing one does not want to gain is weight. They want to lose that weight, you know. That's the only loss which is considered as gain. It's very interesting. Now, what is the gain in life? Labha. I don't know what is this sound. Some construction site, I think, maybe. Doesn't matter. As long as you keep listening to me, it is fine. In the Bhagavad Gita, there is a very beautiful shloka. It says the attainment of the self-knowledge is such that it is the greatest gain, and having gained which, the person does not consider any gain greater than that. Yal labdhva chaparam labham manyate nadhikom tataha. Now see, here the important word is having gained which. At a given time, when a person has got a desire for certain thing, particular thing, at that time, that person never considers any greater than that. See, when you do not have certain thing, and when you desire that, at that time, if you think there is no greater gain than that, it is not very valid. Because after gaining that, what is your thinking, that is more important. Even a child also, when he asks you for a toy, the mother says, I will give you that. But you promise, will you not? You will not ask any more than that? No, I will not ask any more than. He will promise. How long? Until he gets that. The moment he breaks it, I want something more and different also. But what Gita says, yal labdhva, having gained which, then he doesn't say that anything greater than that. See, our gains, how they are. When we get one thing, it is lost also. So our gain is subject to loss, number one. Second thing, our gain is such, when we get one thing, we lose something else. When poor man becomes rich man, he loses something. And do you know what is that? A great joy he had as a poor man. The greatest joy was nobody came to him for donation. That joy goes away. Second thing, as a poor man, wherever he wanted to go, sit in the park, under a tree and other, he could do that. When you become rich, you can't do that type of thing, So in poverty also there is a joy and gain of its own thing, But when in the gain, worldly gains are such that when you gain one thing, there is a loss of something else. And this gain also is lost after some time. But the gain of our spiritual knowledge of our own self, which is infinite and blissful, is such that itself will never get lost. I can lose something else, something other than myself, but I can't lose my own self. That is all the time there. Once I know it and own it, it will not be lost. And in the gain of that, I will not lose something else. Because that joy and happiness is such, in that happiness everything is already included. That's why Gita says, Yasmin sitona dukkhena gurunapi vichalyate. Having got established in which, he is not shaken by even huge mountain-like sorrows also. And a sannyasi can go and sit in the park also, under a tree also. He can live anywhere because he doesn't lose anything. How will you be richer and richer? Richer and richer you will be when you discover this wonderful thing that what I have, the same thing I go on using for higher and higher purpose, and also go on seeking what is higher and higher. Then I discover knowledge is something wonderful. And among that knowledge also, the knowledge of the Absolute is the highest. And as I told you, our nature is that Sat Swarup. It is Chaitanya. It is Ananda. It is the big, infinite. And that's why we cannot be satisfied with little things. We always want to grow and more and more and more. But how will we become that? That is only by knowledge, remember. The only way of becoming infinity is either you become zero or you become all. That's the most important thing to know. But we want to become somebody in life. Either you have to become everybody or you have to become nobody. That path of total surrender, that's called Bhakti Marg in our Shastra, where a devotee says, I am nothing, O Lord, you are only there. And the path of knowledge, the person says, that infinite truth cannot be different from me, for it is my own self, and therefore that person becomes the richest. Goes on expanding. But at the same time, there is no attachment to anything. So totally contented in the self. Outside wealth, lot of wealth also is produced, everything is there. And it grows, and that person then, even after death, that name of that person remains as a source of inspiration for countless people. He lives forever. Remember, he lives forever. Richer and richer. And not only he becomes rich, he enriches everyone else's life also. There are two types of great men. One day somebody asked me, and that was discussion was going on in Hindi, and I think that can be said only in Hindi language. And everybody knows Hindi, so it is fine. रामायण की बात थी, मुझसे पूछा, स्वामी जी, भगवान रामचंद्र जी महान थे और रावण भी महान था. रावण भी कोई ऑर्डिनरी आदमी तो नहीं था, महान था. दोनों की महानता में क्या फ़र्क था? तो मैंने कहा, उनकी महानता में जो फ़र्क है वो अभी आपने खुद ने बता दिया. वो कैसे? मैंने कहा, देखा आपने क्या कहा, भगवान रामचंद्र जी महान थे, और रावण के लिए क्या कहा, और रावण भी महान था. बहुवचन लगाया. आपको ऐसा कहने का मन हुआ कि रावण जी भी महान थे, और रावण क्या कि जी लगाने का जी भी नहीं करता. दोनों में फर्क हो गया. और व्हाट वाज द डिफरेंस? दोनों में क्या डिफरेंस है महानता में मालूम है? रावण की महानता कैसी थी? सबको छोटा करके और खुद बड़ा बनना है. टू पुल एवरीबडी डाउन. To pull everybody down, and then you want to grow and you want to become great, that is one kind of greatness. Whereas Ramchandraji's greatness क्या थी? कि every small being and person also was made great by him, including monkeys. That's why Goswami Tulsidas ji says, प्रभु तरुतर कपिडार पर ते किए आपु समान, तुलसी कहून राम से साहिब शील निधान. Bhagwan is sitting at the foot of a tree and monkeys are sitting on the top of a tree. What the idea is, the monkeys what? They only go from tree to tree, jump. What is the big thing about them? But Bhagwan said, te kiye apu saman. Bhagwan raised even those monkeys to the status of divinity, and that is his greatness. So a great person is one who is not himself only is great, but makes every small person also great. And such a person lives forever, richer and richer. And the one who makes everybody small and then wants to grow, that person is hated only. And even if his name there, it cannot become a source of inspiration. So this is the only way of living forever and richer. Yasmin jivati jivanti bhavaha so atra jivati vayamsi kim na kurvanti chanchvasvodara puranam. This shloka says, Yasmin jivati jivanti bhavaha, that person in whose living countless people derive inspiration to live, that person alone lives in this world, and he lives forever. Otherwise, to fill up one's own bellies, even the birds also fill up their own bellies, even animals also fill up their own bellies. it is not called living. So the simple thing is, the secret, this is of living forever, and how to live richer and richer is the most beautiful topic of this spirituality. Now when people hear the word spirituality also, many of them frightened. Some people think it is meant for retired people. Someone told me it is for retarded people also. Such kind of notions also they have got. But what is spirituality? That also I must touch upon that quickly, because that is also a topic related to this only. Spirituality does not lie in any particular action, but spirituality lies in being what you are. It is being and remaining rooted in that being, then all that what you do becomes spiritual. I'll give an example. What is this being and doing? Suppose someone says that he is a singer. So you can ask that person, please sing a song. He can sing. He is a yogi who knows many, many different kinds of asanas. You can ask him to perform and show an asana. But suppose about some person, it is said, he is an honest man. So can we ask him, show some honesty now, please show me. Is honesty a particular action? Tell me. It is not a particular action. But if that person is honest, that honesty will be there in all action. Whether what he thinks, what he feels, what he speaks, what he does, then everything is honest. If a person is a very loving and kind person, then his thinking, feeling, talking, doing, everything is kind. In the same way, if a person is spiritual, then everything is spiritual of him. But what is spirituality? Spirituality is the vision of the oneness of all beings. That you are one with all. There is no one different from you, separate from you. When you feel that you are oneness with all, more and more, then you become spiritual and spiritual. And then, in one line I can say, then you learn to look at your life as a whole, and you live a whole life. You do not fragment. You do not go on dividing the whole life. This is my personal life, this is my public life. There is no such kind of thing. There is only one life. And you are the same then in all. So just as a truthful person is truthful in everything, it is not a particular doing that is called as truthful. So when person feels his oneness, then he cannot cheat anybody, because if cheating someone is cheating oneself only. So that vision of oneness, that is called the vision, spiritual vision. And when you have that, then you live forever, and richer and richer. The topic can be just expanded more and more, but I think I must stop here now, because the time is there for you to ponder over this, and then we'll have a little question answer session after that. Right? That's what the program is now. Our Anilji will guide. Thank you very much.